Morning.
Morning. Hi. We're still here. The executives at MSNBC have not found us yet, so
They have not what? Sorry.
they haven't found us yet to give us our notice.
Oh.
Somebody asked, "Are you there, Scott?" Yeah, he's here. I can see him.
I think so.
Mhm.
I heard that name. I'm not sure what that means, Jeff. But oh lordy. Bunch of craziness, so help us out. Because I don't even know where to start. It's just been so nuts.
Yeah, I watched.
Yeah, it's the death threats there, sweet darling. They won't stand up for nothing. Hi, Debbie. Can you see me, Nancy Jean? Or Deanne, I mean. Make sure we got this going right.
Yeah, we've been having a thing about communications and how sometimes we're getting cut off without even losing our mics. So
did I have anything saved in a banner? These are all old banners I created. Well, why don't we just start with a...
Curtis Yarvin is linked to JD Vance.
Oh, okay.
So I've now lost all interest in him.
You want to do a weekly reading again?
Sure.
Get things started and rolling. How should we do this? So it's the 22nd. Oh, any kind of democracy thing. Anyone stand up for democracy in any of these weeks?
Okay.
Elon Musk had the OMB send out emails to everyone in the federal system.
But they've taken their emails away.
List 5 things that you've done this week.
Mm-hmm.
And even it went out to federal judges, some federal judges.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to really respond to that.
Okay.
What's our question?
Well, since everything's going crazy, lawsuits galore.
Mm-hmm.
Federal workers worried.
Uh-huh.
I guess democracy, sanity, anything is going to hold here next 4 weeks.
Okay.
I'll try 3 cards each. What do we need to know about democracy in the next few weeks? You bet, Debbie. Governor Maine lit it up. That was good. She stood up to 45.
Yep. Okay, next week's going to be miserable, but the week after that's going to be okay. Things are going to break.
Oh, God. Well, I got the Fool, Justice, and 4 of Swords this week. So behind the scenes, it feels like some kind of judges or lawsuits are going to be happening. And it's, the Fool's like taking a leap of faith, not going too far, but doing the right thing. And 4 of Swords would be slowing down that timing. But justice working.
No.
What do you got for next week?
I've got 5 cards. I've got the Knight of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Coins. They're plotting and planning. they're not ready to move on their plans yet. They don't want the word out among people. They're definitely working against Trump, and Trump's not going to like it by the end of the week because the Knight of Cups shows up, which is revealing truth and emotions. And the next week, did you do the next week after it? The second week?
Yeah, I was looking at comments.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
What I see happening next week, not this coming week, but a week from now, that's when the real money problems are going to start to show up for the Republicans. And there's going to be a whole lot of fighting. And that's when information is going to come out from the High Priestess that helps us. And the Knight of Wands is reversed, so they're trying to move forward. This isn't going to work. But those that are working with higher intentions or better emotions, the Three of Cups, they're going to be successful. Now, that's all of 10 cards out of a 78 card deck. We had 3 knights. That's movement. For those of you who don't know, by the way, if you want to learn tarot, I'm going to be starting a new class soon. So
good.
I'm sure Sharon Seip will put up somewhere where it is. And I have a lot of happy campers right now in the class I've got. But what I see is okay, I'm going to plug my child. Sean, CLSB Politics has a new show up. And it's about how the Republicans don't have any pathway to creating a budget.
It looks like a show right now.
And what kind of a crisis that's going to cause. And there's a full eclipse on the 13th or 14th of March, depending. It's a partial eclipse on 13th or 14th of March. And that's going to bring a whole lot of stuff really to light. And that's when the crunch is going to come.
Right. The 3 cards I got for next week is that the King of Swords, usually a lawyer or someone of importance who's going to walk away. There could be more lawyers standing up and walking away instead of fighting. But it's going to bring some unity here with the 4 of Wands.
Yeah, the Supreme Court gave them cover yesterday or the day before when they said the whistleblower lawyers cannot be fired. And the whistleblower parts of each part of the government have to be allowed to stand. That gives people a safe place to go to.
Good. In 3 weeks, I got big things happening.
Okay.
That's what, like the 14th? Ides of March time frame?
Yep, that's the Ides of March.
We got the Page of Cups. It's a new offer coming in. Strength card and the Lovers. There's some agreements coming in backed by rule of law, the Constitution, something. Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge week for the rule of law and democracy in 3 weeks. Could be the Page of Cups. It could be a new a ruling that really goes against the administration, like that.
Are you done? Yeah. Okay. High Priestess reversed, which means everything she's going to tell us, we already know. We're going to know. People coming out together and working mutually, 2 of Cups. 7 of Coins, reworking, handling the crops, making sure things bloom and grow, and saying, okay, it's about time to be rid of this burdensome package we're carrying. And look who's reversed, the Devil.
Good.
So all those things mean that things are going to come out. People are going to see what's going on. They're working now, guys. It's just really hard when you have to sit. That's what I told a friend of mine. She would call me at the beginning of all this mess. And she bitch and moan about stuff. And I'd say, but Has it happened? Oh, but he signed this order and he signed. I said, but has it happened? Has it? So anyway, I told her, this is my post-it note psychiatry. Post on a note what's making you nuts today. Then hang it somewhere where you're going to find it eventually. But don't think about it again. Let it go. Then look at it in 4 days. And I said, we'll have a phone call in 4 days. So she and I talked 4 days later, and I said, is that still a relevant news issue? No. It got knocked out by this. Is that it? No. And, you know, and their own people are coming after them. And eventually, you don't see it. I don't know how many of you have even gone to a town hall meeting with elected officials there. I used to go whether they were Republicans or Democrats just to see what they had to say. And it's very enlightening, and they don't like it. I mean, you'd think it's not changing them, but it really can. And Hegseth is not a closet drinker. There was booze. You know, if you look at a glass, I don't know how many of you people have been married to or surrounded your life with alcoholics, so you have to keep track of them. But there's a different viscosity between water and gin or vodka.
So the fourth week, around the 20th or so of March, I'm getting Ace of Coins, so we got some prosperity coming in, the Moon, and Judgment.
Maybe they'll do a budget because they realize, well, business will force some of them to do a budget.
Yeah. But yeah, I give it 3 weeks. I think we're going to see big changes. I think the chaos feels like it's going to start turning after the 15th or so.
Let me look at that last week. Can't keep adding weeks, Scott.
Well, I mean, 4, you know.
I know.
Whatever the
Oh,
date.
yeah. Oh, God. Oh, look. Woohoo. Somebody's very troubled. 9 of Swords. And they're being offered a cup they don't want. The 4 of Cups. They're being offered something they don't want. The King of Coins is standing on his head. But this is really getting to the card I wanted to get to. The Tower. That's the week, Scott.
Good.
And remember that woman everyone keeps seeing? That everybody kept saying was Kamala. That they keep seeing a divine feminine energy. She's coming in, so.
Oh. I wonder. So I got the King of Swords like the 3rd week in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's Elon walking away. The person could get to him because a King of Swords is someone, you know, above, doing some powerful things, kind of chaotic. Because that just popped in my head.
Yeah, he shows up as the King of Swords who's going to stab himself with his own sword. But I think the best thing I've seen about him is when people call Teslas swastikas.
Yeah, people are messing with those cyber trucks. They got some kind of LED lighting that projects signs. So people are going up behind the Tesla or the cyber trucks and putting lighted signs, scrolling signs behind them at stop signs and whatnot.
I hope they don't cause an accident doing it, but
True. It's funny.
The guy is such a jerk, and he's given birth to a jerk. I mean, we saw that a week ago with the 4-year-old, and I'm not talking about the president here, but the other 4-year-old that was in the White House in the office.
Yeah. Okay. Lisa said, Andy Beshear said he would not run for the Senate to take Mitch McConnell's place. Will Kentucky have a Dem or rep? Okay. I guess let's see Andy Beshear's future.
Okay.
Senate or more. So, I know those cyber trucks are crazy.
Those things are so effing ugly, And there's so many of them around Dallas. Every time one goes by, I'm looking at it like it sort of reminds me of like a portable bomb shelter. You know?
I read a report yesterday that panels off the trucks are just flying off the side. Okay. Andy Beshear's future. Please share Andy Beshear's future.
Oh, he's going to make a big change. Wow. You ready to go, or are you still doing your thing?
I'm still shuffling. He's going to keep it secret. One, two, three, four. I think he's going to run for president in 28.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm getting. King of Pentacles, the Emperor, and Queen of Wands. Strategic things in the making, some higher office. Emperor will be a president. He's keeping it secret with the moon, building. Three of Pentacles will be like, continuing effort, gaining abilities. But it's all in this. A lot of things depend on what goes on, though. But that's his current goal. He's concentrating on keeping Kentucky safe. Knight of Wands, 10 of Wands, and 7 of Swords. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just concentrating on keeping Kentucky safe with all disinformation. I think there was weather going on there with rains and flooding, I think, because I feel this heavy burden upon him and trying to distract from the 7 of Swords to see. And then the end, I got Strength, 6 of Cups, Empress, and Judgment. That's telling me that he wants to run for president. Also with those other cards.
I don't get him doing that, but I get him not staying where he is, and he's going to have a real tower moment, though. And that's going to make him have to reconsider some of his choices, because he can fix a lot, but, when the weather caves in on you, but it's still going to be, he's going to be in the position of the Fool. He can take whichever path he wants. And a whole lot of is there a Mrs. Beshear? A whole lot's going to count on what his wife thinks it's best for him to do.
Lisa, he won't win the presidency. Wish he'd run for Senate. I don't know. I didn't get a lower in my card throw-in census. I didn't see a lower office.
I didn't see. I see him going for something, but I think there's some big, huge trauma he's going to go through relatively soon.
Yes, he's married. Didn't he just win the governor like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So he would be ending in 28,
right?
Or 4 years.
But they don't have.
I don't think he would leave the governorship.
I don't think they have term limits there, though. He could run again.
Yeah, whatever happens there, but it's.
Hello, Gigi. Hello, Angela. I saw you came in early.
Okie dokie. Deanne's wondering about minerals. Why is Trump after Ukraine's rare earth minerals?
Same reason everybody is.
Yeah, I think it has. I mean, that's been Putin's goal too. Take over oil and minerals. It's profitable.
Do you want to ask if Ukraine's going to remain independent?
Okay. Hey, Coyote. Thanks for the cheers of love.
Is this some affair you have that we don't know anything about, Scott? Because I don't know anyone named Coyote.
Oh, just comment.
Oh, it is his last term. They do have term limits in Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah, I think he would wait till his end of his term. It feels like. I think he's concentrating on Kentucky. Okay. Wait, Ukraine future.
Yeah, the Knights are happy today. I've got the emotions are that they want to remain on their own. They may not have all the strength they need to do it, but they still have something they can pull out of their hat, magician wise, to do it. It says yes and no. It depends on the money coming in. And the last card is victorious. So I would say the way it stacks up right now, it doesn't look like it, but that they're going to be able to remain independent.
Yeah, Russia was sending a whole bunch of drones. I supposedly they sent like 250 yesterday. A bunch of stuff, overwhelm the system. Yeah, in the past, of course, it's been tough to hold on with the Tower, Queen of Wands, and Page of Cups. Page of Cups would be like everyone helping out. Queen of Wands is that war strategy, but the Tower, a lot of failure and a lot of hardship happened. Moving forward, there's there is a lot of support. Heavenly and from others with Knight of Cups, evaluating the situation, and then Five of Wands. Because of the United States right now, it feels like the lack of energy and lack of support there is giving kind of like a down. Down.
That's why Biden shifted everything over to NATO before he got out of office.
Yeah, moved everything they could. In the end, I think they will be victorious. King of Wands, Ace of Swords, and Knight of Wands. The energy is focused towards them. Zelensky probably here with that king, the courageous leader. Ace of Swords is a success, awakening, a victory. I believe they will.
It's going to be tough. And in Europe, you got to admit, it's stupid for the other countries to not fight with everything they can on Ukraine's soil. Because the second that the Russians hit into, I think the Polish people have been through enough. They understand. As does everyone else who's ever been in Europe.
Yeah, the clown, representative of someone from Poland, was there to speak 2:45. I ain't calling him 47. They waited an hour and a half for a 10-minute meeting. He made them wait. And then I guess Zelensky was speaking somewhere. He said, if he'll gladly step aside for a new election if Ukraine has security deal, they're in NATO, and we're secure, and Russia stops. I will gladly step away.
Yeah.
Okay. Got the mineral. What's going on there? Did that. Okay. Carol. So how Musk's last BS about work week reported manipulating court. It must be about his email that he sent out last night.
Oh.
How Musk last BS about work week report. Demand play out. If it's about the emails I think you're talking about, I think is just being ignored. It's a bunch of nonsense.
They'll do what their immediate supervisor tells them to do. So if their immediate advisor says, write 5 things down.
My Nancy got that email also.
Scott knows about all this before it hits the newspapers.
Pretty much. She sent something back, basically, F off Elon Musk.
Good for her.
But yeah, she's getting frustrated with all this stuff too. She doesn't know what she wants to do. Her future is just.
Well, it makes your whole work environment insecure.
Yeah, I mean.
And that's horrible to live with. But then, I don't know. I kind of know where you live, Scott, and I know a little bit about it. But
Yeah, they're having like her boss and whatnot and heads of VA. They're having telemeetings constantly because of the nonsense
Mm-hmm.
to talk about what to do, what you should do.
Instead of how can we take care of people.
Yeah.
Scott's wife is a nurse.
Yeah. She used to be, but now she's in HR and travel.
Well, she works in a hospital environment, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. For 15 years, she was a medical assistant, but now she's got a promotion like 2 years ago into the HR environment, administrative. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She got it promoted there. And it's just nonsense. She's so frustrated. A bunch of heads, 5 of the heads in the VA in Madison got the email about being temporary.
Mm-hmm.
You're fired, basically. And it's like, we need these people, but they were probationary because they got a promotion.
Right.
You know, even though they've been in the system for 20 years or whatever.
That's going to come down to a court definition of what does probationary mean, and it's not going to hold.
Well,
I used to work,
I
used to work at the airlines, and once a year they would go down when we were going into the slow travel season. And it was a little like being in Egypt when the plagues were coming, because they would have layoffs. And, you know, we didn't have anything like put blood on the outside of your cubby, you know, your little hole. And it was awful. I mean, and it's a horrible situation to live with. Yep, some can.
Hey, Sheila.
My governor won't.
Yeah. It seems like the only ones that get in the lawsuits are going to get any benefit. We can toss a few to see what the pushback on.
You know what? When I heard that story, what I was envisioning when he walked out of that meeting and he was going down the hallway, he was saying, "Never let that bitch in the White House again." The governor that said, "Nope, I don't have to do that. I'll see you in court."
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think they'll hold. There is anxieties over it, but I got lawsuits and gaining abilities with King of Wands doing what's right.
Yeah.
9 of Swords, they do have anxieties because the federal government does control things.
Thank you, Julie.
But their AGs and others will be speaking out and telling the folks what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're going to hold strong. Oh, bless you, Julie.
I think they've been trying to see how many more they could pull in to become part of the things. But those are the Knight of Wands that I keep seeing. That's the governors. And it's judgment time. They got to call them on this crap.
Good.
No more illusions and delusions. No more sitting under the tree. And they really are getting together. That's the 3 of Coins. That's the architects of the new beginning. So.
Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, there's rules, but there's no, you know, I don't know what the house.
What each of us need to think of is to bless the universe for making those rules be strong instead of worrying about where they're going to fall apart. I mean, the reality is, yeah, they could. But I think it's closer for the Republicans. You see what's happening to them when they go back and face their own people. And when we have no budget and the government shuts down.
Oh, my Lord. Women got upset and were dragged out. Wow.
Well, that was Idaho. I think I'm going to switch to a different deck because I think I'm going to get my bunny deck. When they start dragging people out without badges, it's time to go to the bunnies.
So what the heck? Do they have a bunch of white supremacists?
Well,
Supremacist groups in there?
that goes back to the George Floyd time in D.C. They had all these guys without badges that were out there in the street playing cop. You know, and some people thought they were connected to that freak that ran his own army in Iraq, Eric Prince. Blackwater mercenaries, yeah. Are they still called Blackwater? I thought they changed their name because Blackwater was so bad. That's such a bad rep.
I haven't really heard about them lately.
That's when they're most dangerous, Scott. It's when they're in your face. You don't need to worry about them. Okay. Okay, what's our question about this?
I'm not sure. I just
private security.
Looking at it and see what comes up.
Oh. Which two cards do you never want to have side by side in a reading, Scott?
Tower and Ten of Swords.
Power and Death.
Well, that too.
Except in this case, the Tower was not as bad. It was reversed, but it was death. There's a huge change. Yeah, they're luring people in and saying this is a lovely environment. Come talk to us, but they're not going to be there to listen to have their minds changed at all. Then we have death. Things have changed in these environments, and they have the Tower, and so it's up to us with the Two of Pentacles to balance our energy and figure out what we can do to either get around it or make sure that it's seen. This is why the people are out. Millions of people at one point were in the streets in Jerusalem, was because they were getting pitched out of meetings with no explanation. So,
yeah. So I don't know what happened there, but dragged out. But it is showing that women were there for a movement.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of victory, some kind of, they were coming in full force here. Chariot, Six of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. But their positivity was shut down with frustrations and being locked out with Eight of Swords, Nine of Cups. They wanted this celebration and improvements, and Four of Cups. Being offered something they didn't want. And so, but they were shut down with that Eight of Swords there. Outcome, truth will prevail in the end with the Ace of Swords. Ten of Cups, there will be happiness, but many frustrations along the way. Then the Seven of Cups. So there's a lot of sevens here. So that means we're not to a completion yet.
No.
It's going to be a while, but truth will come out and unfold. With that Seven of Cups, it's just kind of like that illusion, delusion, chaos. Right. It isn't, it's just, they don't want the truth to be whole, whatever the feeling is. And it just create more chaos, it feels like. So it's going to take a little while. I got the Hangman on the bottom. It's getting stronger, but they're still stuck. So you just got to keep going, these people, and
you have to keep pulling your mind to the next best thing you can do. What I saw is, that meeting got out of control. Got out of control of the people who wanted to control it. But and the guy who was running the meeting called the shots. But those women went on, and that's gonna make their group grow. Don't say no to ladies. I don't know how I can explain this. They're gonna move on to new tactics, place that's safer, and in the end, they're gonna get their balance. The people who act out in force against them are gonna be the ones who are hurt. Okay, Pam. Yes, Friday, February 18th, 24-hour economic boycott. Get whatever you need on the 27th, because the 28th is a boycott. It's also my youngest one's birthday.
Many people are voicing their anger at GOP town halls. Head throughout the country. Yay. I
And
did
it's their own
one in Georgia, I think it was. Just destroying them.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. North Idaho is very right wing. 2 to 3 minutes. Just with a Google or search for that video.
You know what a friend of mine pointed out to me once was, I was talking to her about all the houses that had guns, and she said, yes, and there are women in those houses with the guns too. It's not just men. And for any man who wants to start strong arming women, especially in a state like Idaho, where they all know how to shoot, I don't think that's such a good idea.
Oh, wow. All right, I'll save that for later. Pegasus posted the video of the eruption. Okay. DNS. What is Elon going to do with Americans' private data?
Sell it to the what is the Ugandan prince that was always asking me for money?
Let's see. Let's ask if Elon's going after our data, or is it specific things?
Okay. So are we taking that question as a question? What is he going to do with the data?
Well, I don't really get a big hit that he's going after our data. It feels more like a specific thing he's going after by going into these systems.
Thank you, Jen. Blessings.
If you think about it, going into, let's say, the Treasury or whatever, how are you going to go through 360 million people's data?
Okay.
That's pretty difficult. You think he'd be going in specifically for certain things. So I'm just wondering what the cards say.
I've never thrown the tower so many times in one game, ever. He's going to tower time. You know what? He didn't know what the hell he was going to do with it. He hadn't made his mind up. He just roared in like the Knight of Swords and took it. But people are going to get upset about it and make him change. This is the extra card in my bunny card. This is the extra happiness card, but it's upside down. So people are not going to be happy. And that's going to lead. I got a feeling Elon's leaving us sooner rather than later. And I don't mean physically like his whole self, but And then people are going to look out and they're going to say, we want calmer, stricter restrictions on this. Would it be like,
he is going through the court right now that's asking, I think it's through Tanya Chuckin. He's trying to get more info. He denied something that they can continue, but she's pressing the government what's his role to figure out if it's constitutionally legal. So he could get the boot from there possibly. So he wanted to go in mainly for abuse of power. He went in mainly for abuse of power. So strength, 5 of swords, and king of cups. There's some kind of abuse of power for him when he's going there first. But then he's going through a dark night of the soul transition. Feels like he wants to be part of the government or part of the service better, but he's being blocked with the 8 of swords. In the end, I think our systems will hold. Because I got the magician, courthouse, which is justice, and the Queen of Swords. There is a possible female judge here who's going to hold them account. So it doesn't show data here, because I'd be getting, like coins if he was going in there and accessing data. I think it's more for corrupt ideas for him. I think it's more corrupt ideas for him.
Okay, Scott, how much of this crap he's pulling has to do with the however many, nearly 100 lawsuits different agencies have against him and his companies?
I think that's what.
Yeah, let's see. I'm going to see if this is all to try and shield himself. And it is a good way to break the American system, but,
You shut down the government that's investigating him. Supposedly there was like 17 investigations into his practices.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I didn't get the tower this time. Yeah, he wanted to stop the investigations. That's a chariot upside down. Stop him. He's getting what he wants right now because they can't move. He's trying to figure out how to reposition himself and get out of this. But then it's all for naught because he's got the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. I don't think it's going to work. But that's what he did it for.
Yep.
Is this like if
protection from Lady Justice,
right?
Empress, Queen of Swords, Six of Swords, protection from Lady Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have Secrets in the Moon, more protection. Knight of Cups is another protection card. Doing things secretly with the moon, and then he basically wants to make himself king. Ace of Wands, Magician, and King of Cups. So yeah, I think it was all about protecting him from future.
Mm-hmm.
And that Magician, he can basically rule the United States within the corruption. Bottom of deck, financial benefits. He said it. I think it was on Tucker Carlson. He said it. If Kamala Harris wins, I'm going to prison.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Ketamine addict, and God, I don't know if anyone's seen any of those clips from the CPAC.
Oh God, that's another group I never watched.
It was crazy. Musk comes out all addict level with a chainsaw.
Yeah, I heard about that part. I heard he was running around with the chainsaw. I was hoping he was going to turn it on and then trip.
I was really crazy. And then 45 did basically a rally of nonsense again. Everything was a lie. It was nuts. I just caught a few clips. It's like, good Lord. Hi, Kelly.
Yeah, if he's getting close to being caught, he can go live in Saudi Arabia. I hope he likes suntan lotion. Yeah. He'll flee.
Well, he doesn't have his passport taken.
Even if he has his passport taken, he has other ones. He has access to a lot of private jets once you get across that border. But you live in a border state. It's like, run for the Canadian border.
Thanks. Not getting anything fleeing.
Not today.
No. I just thought I'd throw some cards to see. I didn't think so. I don't think he's going to be able. I mean, yeah, he can flee or go, but. Is anyone in NATO thinking about turning on NATO and going corrupt?
I mean, another state within NATO is going to try and screw it.
I don't know if there's any other question.
Closest they have to that is Turkey.
Yeah, Turkey's always been a pain. And isn't Hungary in there too?
Yeah.
I think
Orban's
a pain too.
He's been being quieter. His people don't like him siding with the.
Oh yeah, it was always bad for all those criminals if 45 didn't win. Obviously Spirit had a different reason to bring out the chaos and show everyone, I guess. Not enough MAGA seen the light. Okay. Yeah. We can throw a couple, I guess. Is there anyone in NATO thinking about turning on NATO? Okay, how about I'm going to think about it that is the security alliance within NATO strong?
Okay.
I think of it that way. Ugh. Idaho is a right-wing militia country. Eek.
That is kind of true.
Okay.
I'd be safe. I have Texas plates.
Security, NATO security. Okay. Oh, all good.
Yeah.
My end cards are all good. Positive energy gain abilities, Ace of Wands. My angelic card, Ace of Wands. My 3-4 coins, all about learning skills, keeping things together, keeping things strong. The past did have some issues with some transitions and cohesiveness, but there was a leader. It could be Rudy or whoever, but there's a leader that kept things together.
Mm-hmm.
There's some money issues that in the current something. So I got Queen of Swords, 5 of Coins, and my Empress.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's some moving forward. In the end, it's great, but in the current, there's kind of some struggle.
It's a mix. It's a mix of stuff. There are people jostling for positions to control. Yeah. And a lot of it has to do with the common currency and the fact that that is so interlocked between them. And if Brexit did nothing, it taught European countries what happens when you leave the EU.
Yeah. I happen to actually look up England's economy and whatnot. They're still in a recession, but they're finally getting better.
But they're in the middle of electing a new person to run it, and there's a lot of dissension around that.
So. Yeah, that could be chaotic. Starting over again with a different.
Well, as long as it's not Nigel Farage, I don't care. I mean, those guys were all Russian puppets. That's why Russia did it. They wanted to break up the EU because they didn't want that strong of an economic engine on their border.
Europe is more united than ever. Good.
Yep. Good. You can have someone have a gun at your head.
I believe so.
How united you get.
Kash Patel posted a hit list. Yeah, seen that. Because they went after him. Most of these were people first term. Oh, okay. How far will Kash Patel go now that he's FBI director? Unbelievable. Okay, Kash Patel. Which deck wants to tackle that? How far will Kash Patel go? I really can't believe these Republicans had no cojones to stop this. Gotten all these unqualified people. Kash Patel.
I'm going to read. Since it's Kash Patel, I'm going to read the weird cat tarot.
He is a weird cat.
Yeah, he's a weird cat. The cards are kind of sweet for as weird as that title is.
Kash Patel. Oh, he wants to be an emperor.
It's not going to work. It's great for him right now. He's sitting with the 10 of Cups. He thinks it's wonderful, but he doesn't have the ability to pull it together. He doesn't have if they would follow him, he has like no leadership skills. There's some woman that's still at the FBI who's kind of running a lot of stuff. She's there.
Strange. I got a woman too.
And I got that he's not able to plant any of these seeds to make them work. And he's got the sun reversed. His whole plan's not going to work.
Last I seen, this Driscoll guy was the acting head.
But there's still some woman in there. It's like the secretary nobody knows. You know, when you work in a company and there's a one secretary who knows everything. And if you get to know her, you find everything. So.
Or it could be a FBI lawyer too. Okay. So yeah, I got the Emperor card, so he wants to be an emperor. Four of Wands being in charge, but there's a woman there too, like you mentioned. Kind of confused there, but so I got 6 of Cups, 4 of Coins, and the Moon. I think that means he wants to destroy the functions of the. That's not in the past, the current, or what he wants to do. He wants to destroy how things go within the FBI. Right. So this hit list, it's kind of a plan. Thank you, Susie Cat. Bless. Oh, I had the sun on the bottom too. So I got the 6 of Wands. Looks like kind of a mob. Victory, a battle. 7 of Cups. Illusion, delusioned. What he wants won't come true. He's going to try his best. It's like an Ace of Wands and Lovers. He's connected to bad sources. But I'm going to go, and he won't be able to accomplish what he wants. Mainly because that illusion delusion is in there. If I had another decent card, I would say yes. But I think institutions will hold well enough. The FBI as a whole is not going to make it a hit squad.
No.
I mean, there is rules of law to go through things. You got to go through a grand jury and everything to get warrants and a judge. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna play out like he thinks it's gonna be, with all his grandiose videos and hit lists, and
especially when it's so clearly rooted in headlines where you can see where they're coming from. Debbie, I do not control how questions get posted. That's Scott's job. So if you didn't post your question, I can't help you.
It could have been starred.
I don't know. I'll go look.
So what did Debbie? Was this?
I don't know.
Was this lately?
Say what it is.
What, shifting veils, Debbie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to. I don't know what it is. So, I mean, I don't know if she did the polite thing and typed it in all caps. So,
That's kind of strange. Quite a vision there.
yeah.
Locked in. Sometimes remote viewing is kind of weird to understand. You got to interpret what you're doing. You talking about the Mormons? Is that what you were seeing?
I don't know. This is the only one she's posted. That's
Okay. We'll try that.
Oh, that's the dual flashes from space and the ushering in of the 144,000, which, believe it or not, I'm doing a show on tomorrow, but I'm doing it from.
Told me their church announced that there will be a war this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
church. Oh my God.
It's part of Revelations, but there's a thing about there being 144,000 chosen who are sealed by the angels, and they're for sure getting into heaven. And the rest of us, it's kind of a crapshoot. And this is why I left the Presbyterian Church, because I said, what kind of a God would design that system? I mean, really, why would they say, of all the millions of souls that have come through the earth, this 144 is going to make it? That's part of those prophecies. And they say that stuff, and they've been saying it for years. They've been saying it since I was a kid, and it hasn't happened. I do believe that there is a critical 144,000 certain souls that are on the planet that are higher.
Bless you, Jen.
That are ascended, and they are going to unify and make it easier for other people. And I've seen it happen in the last 10 years when spirituality became more and more prevalent. We turned from the other stuff. I'm not going to put cards out on it. You can read it, Scott.
This is totally in their belief system. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The magician coming in, it feels like this is what they believe in their God or their source.
Their magic thinking.
The Ace of Wands and Page of Coins. So I really believe this is going to happen. My Empress card. So there's hope and faith in whatever they're trying to announce and say. There's a strategy to it. But it feels governmental or some kind of organization.
Well, their church is a governmental organization, basically.
Yeah. It's kind of weird how this is showing me. I think it has to do a lot more with beliefs. Six of Cups, Ace of Swords, and Queen of Wands. I mean, there's all good cards in this, which makes it kind of weird. But it just feels like total belief systems.
Mm-hmm.
But it's giving me the vibe of like a Joel Osteen kind of thing. Like a grifter system.
Well, look at it this way, Scott. I think it's kind of a bait and switch thing that they have. I believe that there is a vibration that 144,000 people, when they get to it, then it makes it easier for everyone else's vibrations to get raised.
Mm-hmm.
If you're dealing with the frequency of the planet. And I think that part they've got right. But it's the four horsemen of the apocalypse and all the other grandiose torture and maim and medieval, how we get people to be subjugated. That stuff that came in with the Piscean age, I don't believe.
Yeah, it just feels like a total belief system that's being put in here is total belief, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's ancient. I mean, it's nothing that came with YouTube.
Yes. because I'm getting that Six of Cups,
Mhm.
and I mean, everything feels good. So there might be something to it, like you're saying, but it feels like it's going to show something in the end
Yes.
that the reveal is not what they believe.
No.
Because I think everything's going to come to light
Mm-hmm.
and be shown. But yeah, it just feels like almost like a cult.
Yeah, well, trust me. I spent about 3 hours yesterday because I'm going to talk about it with Terry. I think tomorrow. She hasn't written me back, but I sent her a thing, and
Okay. I mean, some of the beliefs are feeling somewhat factual, but
mhm.
a civil war. I think it's going to be shown that no, this is some of what they're saying is BS.
It's a spiritual war. It's not a boom boom gun shoot shoot war. I wouldn't rather be in that kind of war because I don't have a gun, but um, you're going to hear more about it. You're going to hear more about the double flashes soon too. So get ready for it. I still think it's a very twisted system. I mean, not the 144,000 unifying in the spiritual plane, but 144,000 that get to march into heaven and leave everybody behind.
Okay, there must have been people out there thinking he might be gone in March. Well, I'd say
His charts really sucks. Right. Yeah.
One of these days the chart's got to work, right?
Oh, they work. I mean, if I was him, the last thing I would have wanted to do is become president again. Although it kept him out of jail, but
It kept him and Elon out of jail.
Yeah.
And then these MAGA Republicans continue because they're afraid of losing their security.
What?
And
they don't have a party anymore. They don't have a. He took all their money. He took their whole damn party. I mean, I really understand.
Yeah, he's still trying to grift money, and he's president, sending out fundraising emails.
Well, if I was going to ever lay out the cards to say yes to this, these would be the cards. Got the Two of Wands, some endeavor that's gone sideways. But then we have the Star, the Knight of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the Lovers. And what those last four cards read is the Star is it's someone's goal. It's going to be the end goal for someone. The Knight of Cups, someone's going to ride in with compassion and care to make a difference. The Ace of Cups, new beginnings in the spring, new way to plan things. And then the out card is the Lovers, where everyone's sitting in agreement. So.
So I didn't ask March. I didn't want to put a time frame on it. I just thought about, okay, what's the current energy of when we may be out of this orange society? In the past, I get the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles. So the energy had to shift to show two sides of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He had to stay to show the two sides.
Mm-hmm.
And then the current energy for him is King of Cups here. So we got a leader.
Mm-hmm.
The Moon, craziness, and Three of Swords.
Yeah.
He will be leaving here when he has a huge health issue.
I believe that.
His heart is broken. The Moon is deception and delays.
And it's not a mental condition, it's a physical one because he's mentally gone.
Yeah, he's mentally already gone. But he leaves because of his heart. The moon also says, we're not going to tell you when. More health issues moving forward. 5 of Cups, deep sorrow and sadness. Page of Pentacles is a new path and an offer. But then the 8 of Pentacles is my health issue card too, but it's also hard work. So he's going to have a huge loss via courts or something that causes problems. In the end, 9 of Swords, tears and anxiety. The Hangman is delays. 10 of Cups and 4 of Cups. Going to another home. He goes home. Whenever he doesn't get what he wants is when we're done with him. Like if he doesn't get his way of the Hitler 53 days, the courts push him back, and he can't do everything. People rise up. That's when. I don't think it's March. 3 of Swords is a 3 for March, but I don't see March. But basically, we're not going to tell you.
They don't ever want to tell us.
We're not going to tell you when. We're not going to tell you. It'll get better when everything gets pushed back. If he continues, if the courts don't push back, the Republicans don't push back, Elon gets his way, he will continue. But if people push back enough, it'll happen sooner.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I really can say. Because I don't get a sense of timing. It could be March. It could be in June. It could be in October.
And bless you, Arlene, for putting this year on that, because people will give us a month, and if you don't give us a year, it's not specific enough.
Yeah. There's things that I read on 2 years ago that finally came true 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my God. There's no timing in spirit, unfortunately. Oh yeah. I think someone put that up. Oh yeah, Kelly put that up. There's been a lot on the Twitter Spaces about. They've been talking about the 1987 when Ivana and Trump went there. That he was cultivated back then, and in a connection to a Krasnov story, that he was designated that.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to Craig Unger's book, American Compromise. I think he mentioned that quite a bit.
Did he mention Ivana's father was KGB?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Seemed to have daddy issues to me.
So, is there any truth to the story of 87 KGB recruitment and the Krasnov story? Krasnov means red. Thank you, Rose. Good morning, Crown Zones. Ladies.
He fell into their laps. They didn't seek him out. He just kind of went there, and he was sort of listless and easy to change. But once they saw him there, they started feeding him with BS and helping him and connecting him with the Russian mafia, which had a lot of money, which also gets him back to Rudy. Seven of Cups. And for them, it was, oh, we've got our stooge. We can quit looking. And the Russians' view was, we've got our Wheel of Fortune. I don't think they picked him out. I think he just showed up on their doorstep.
Greg Unger's book lays out Trump's involvement with Russian mafia, House of Trump, and the House of Putin.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a couple years since I listened to it, but the article says Krasnov was 45's spy name. Okay. I got the devil in the past here. Cultivating him, I think so. Is about money, greed. 45 was lazy, and then he had a fool moment. He didn't he was easily duped. So yeah, he was easily duped. And then moving forward from 87, he was free-spirited. There was energy there. They showered him with love and gifts and made him an offer.
Mm-hmm.
And the current energy, Russia owns him.
Yeah.
My Russia card. Seven of Cups. Losing his illusions and bringing us into a dark time. So yeah, I think it's correct. A lot of love there, so it could be compromised through women. Youthful energy, giving love. Sources, yeah. On the bottom, I have a Queen of Swords. So a dark woman could have solicited him. Could have been his wife, too. His wife could have been in on it. Yeah, I believe that's correct. Yeah, there you go. Organized crime. Pretty much is. Oh, sorry. Him, Rudy, cultivating the Russian mafia to come into New York. Oh, I mean, it isn't an agent. It's more like a useful idiot.
Yeah.
Money laundering through his businesses and allowing them to come in with Rudy's help in New York. And then he's down in Florida and all these Russians are buying up properties down there. And true, Eric said too, we get a lot of money from Ruskies.
Yeah, it's the lady who lost her job at that bank that it ends up all the money that was funding Trump's things were coming through the Russians.
Then
we're color coordinated today, Scott.
Oh.
Oh.
I did wear my real tree camo. And my hair was a mess, so I threw on.
This is my cat sweater.
I threw on my Myrtle Beach hat. Cover up the bed head. How bad is Elon? What the heck? Not gonna do a full spread, but 3-4 cards, I think. Will Elon's drug abuse be the reason from his grave? Elon. Yep, there you go, Pam. No. Hat I got in Myrtle Beach, MB. Anytime I travel anywhere, I always grab a ball cap.
I got a no on his drug abuse. I just think people don't like him. People don't realize who he is and what he's doing, and they're gonna have no more illusions about him. And she shows up again, the queen, coming to get him. Maybe it's just feminine energy. Listen, a person.
I don't think you can OD on ketamine. I think it just can be addictive. From what I read anyway, I don't, ketamine can be addictive for the euphoric feelings it gives you, but I don't think OD from it.
You can OD from anything. You can OD from drinking too much water. There will be a way to do it. It probably won't let you stay awake long enough.
Yeah, he's a weird one. I don't think I don't get anything about his drug use being down, because I was looking for like the moon or the 7 of cups, something like that.
Yeah, like a traditional OD, like what they invented Narcan for.
I think it's his abuse of power and justice will bring him down.
Mm-hmm.
And he will have a tower coming sometime. But no, he's just trying to be king right now. I don't think it's his drug abuse that brings him his grace. It's the courts, his abuse of power. He was high at the inauguration. We've seen the video of him just zoning out. People are speaking whatever at the inauguration. He's like,
Okay, Debbie, the actor who died from it, he was in a hot tub and he passed out and he drowned.
He had other drugs in his system too, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of the ketamine overdose.
Mm-mm.
It was because other things and
stupidity and arrogance.
Yeah. Google says you can easily OD any ketamine. Okay. I mean, there's all kinds of.
I trust you guys because I don't go near it and I don't hang out in emergency rooms, so I don't really know.
I see a lot of signs in my driving about ketamine therapy, but anyway, but thank you. Google said you can OD in it. I don't really sense it, but I'm like you said, anything you can OD on anything if it. Oh, Elon always has issues with baby mamas.
Yeah, the little monster in the office. Someone's actually paying good money to go to court to get that child back. So I guess maybe she thinks she can get him out of there.
Very effective antidepressant. Okay.
You have 2 points of view there.
Okay, 118. What else was in there?
Okay, guys, we got it. We don't know anything about ketamine. You can die from it. We'll accept that. We don't accept he will.
Liz is worrying about flying. Okay.
I'm going to use
2025. Okay, or avoid. Push back on cuts. Okay. How much worry should we have about airline travel this year?
If you drove down a highway today, you were more likely to die there than in an airplane. Up to now, statistically.
Up to now, yeah. A lot of things have just been maintenance issues so far. A couple of them, Yeah, landing gear just broke. Okay, flag. What do we got?
I got no. I got big major arcana no. I get it's being thrown up as one of those issues to confuse us and worry us about something we shouldn't worry about. And I've got, yeah, it's out of balance. The situation's overburdened. But these are all no cards. This is saying no. There will not be problems. These 4 cards are all major arcana saying no. So I would take it that this is one of those distraction issues that they throw out there to worry people. And I guarantee you're going to talk to people who are worried about, should I fly in an airplane? They're not going to fly in an airplane. I mean, they're not going to anyway, you know.
Yeah.
If you know an airline is in real trouble, I would take the more expensive airline. I used to work for American, and trust me, I was there when Braniff went down. And when Braniff went down, they were flying planes around with engines that when they tried to sell the engines to other airlines, they actually flew the planes over to Florida to have them checked. And the engineers that checked them in Florida had to put them in a cargo bay because they said those engines were so unsafe to be flown. So it's maintenance. It's not going to be the air traffic controllers.
Yeah. I'm getting the same thing kind of. It's like the anxiety is real.
Oh, I believe people are afraid.
Yeah.
Anybody up there watching it?
The anxiety is real. There is that worries. I do have the 6 of Cups. Standing up for what the airlines and the system has always been. There is restrictions of employees right now, but overall, I think it's okay because the ending cards show Ace of Wands, 9 of Coins, and Justice.
Right.
So use your own discernment. You know, if you're really worried about flying, you know, just go in that energy and say, am I gonna be okay or whatever, you know. But generally it's still safe. It's just the overblown anxieties. Because there is a definite worry here about employees, having enough employees. Definitely. If you don't want to fly until you feel it's more safer, then don't do it.
That's right.
Cancel plans. But generally, I feel it's safe yet. You know,
Yeah.
the pilots and the airline stewardess don't want to die either. They got their work to do.
And the people who fix them, they don't want to screw it up. I mean, they work as hard as they can. And I used to have to go to Tulsa, which was a maintenance center for a different reason altogether, not for maintenance. And I met a bunch of the people who work up there. And they're really hardworking, good people who want to make things work. And I survived when Reagan got rid of PATCO. The airline got rid of the air traffic controllers. And he was saying, why should they earn that much money? This goes back to the original lies of the Republican Party.
Right.
And in order to monitor those planes coming in, they had to have an airline pilot's license. So, oh God, nobody's scrambling equipment, please.
I know. I just wanted to toss a few cards to prove it. I don't believe that either, but no. I get no. Okay.
Are we going to pull a card for the day? Are we that close?
We can find one more.
Okay.
Muskrat. Okay, we did planes. Okay, we did that one. Did that one. We did that one. Wasn't there something about?
Yeah, and then we're gonna go shopping, and then I think maybe me and her will just go out for dinner while we're out.
Do they still need a pilot's license? What's that mean?
Yes.
Of course they
Air
do.
traffic controllers still need to understand everything instrumentation-wise that the pilot's looking at as they're guiding them in. Yes.
Oh, what the heck? We haven't looked at Jack Smith and his. What's going on
No,
with him.
I love Jack Smith, but no. I've looked at Jack Smith. No. He's not even in the U.S.
Jack Smith. Okay.
I mean, you can read on it, Scott. I just.
Would there be any issues with taxes?
Ah, yes. Okay.
Will there be any delays or issues with getting our tax refund this year?
If this is a year when you owe taxes, this might be a good year to look at rearranging some of your expenses because there's no way they're ever going to find you.
Energy, Hangman, Cup. I'm not seeing a big issue, but there could be some delays in some.
Yeah.
Like the Four of Cups is a delay card, thinking about things. But I had the Hangman, Page of Cups, Knight of Cups. Those three together are like, the Hangman could mean delays.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get Page of Cups and Knight of Cups is getting what you deserve.
Right.
So it's just like some delays. And you funny you mentioned owing. It's like I'm getting the feeling like if you owe, like push it off for some reason.
Oh, you can file for an extension.
Yeah, that's like if you owe,
If you
maybe
pay
file
as much as you paid last year.
it feels like if you owe, maybe just file an extension or something. It feels, there is an energy there about owing. That well, maybe just file an extension and not pay it on time or something if you happen to owe. Because of the Trump tax things, both Nancy and I, my Nancy, not you, we changed our single.
I do not file with Scott. We do not file.
We both changed our. I used to file single and one.
Mm-hmm.
Make it about even, maybe get $100 back, whatever. All of a sudden, with the Trump tax plan, I started owing like $1,200 a year.
Right.
Single and one. So I changed it to single and zero, so I don't have to deal with that. I mean, it makes it a little different with getting a little income from YouTube, but the tax bracket definitely messed me over. But yeah, you're going to get it. There could be some delays, but some reason if you owe, maybe delay it. I can't sense why that would be, but maybe just piss off the government.
They don't have enough people to keep track of where things are supposed to be. And it's...
Yeah, there was some nonsense that IRS employees were getting fired too. In Baltimore or something like 2,400. Just why? Oh, why? It's nuts.
And they're sending kids that were trained in the cloud. They're to do all the programming through the cloud. They're sending them into the IRS, which has the oldest mainframes known to man. it's like a total mismatch of skills and abilities.
Morning, Callie Healer. Okay. Inspiration time.
Okay.
We're at 1:30. 2 from my ET deck and 2 from another. See what's up. Please give us guidance for the week to help, heal, or otherwise. Okay. Ooh.
You gonna go?
You can go ahead.
Okay. This I'm using Crystal Medicine Oracle deck, and I got Retreat. And the crystal with it is green calcite. It's a beautiful crystal. And it says, you've attracted this card into your awareness. Today is now the time to retreat. In the fast-paced world we live in today, you will find it easier to get yourself burnt out and experience mountains of stress, which can cause overload, exhaustion, anxiety, and depression. It's extremely important you do not get caught up in the intensity of all that's going on around you. When you give yourself time to stop, breathe, and be still, the opportunity will arise to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit at a deep level. If you are burning the candle at both ends, stress piling up in your life, feeling overwhelmed, let it go. Do whatever is required to allow yourself to rest and to retreat. And I would totally, if you get locked up in this news cycle and you start believing every story you see, you just need to go within and say, how much truth do I find here? And if you find a whole lot of truth in it, then worry about it. But otherwise, you're just burning yourself up. And it feeds them. They like the flames that come off the discontent of our souls.
Could be. Yeah, the 2 cards I get from this deck, Page of Gabriel and 6 of Raphael.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying there could be some excitements in one, embracing your inner child, but it's also about reconnecting with friends from the past. Rekindling relationships. But it's always like when things get rough, just think of the better times. Think of the innocence, the feelings that brought you joy when we had no fears. Okay. And then there's something about using sound, whether it be music or tuning forks or anything, to help clear space and clear healing. And then always remember that any choice we make is always for our soul's path. Nothing is a mistake. So, take the path chosen, choose wisely, but it's always on your soul's path when you do make any decision. Good or bad, it's for our best interest. What you got going on Tuesday and
Monday, tomorrow, I have the show with Terry, and we're going to talk. I think now this is with Terry. When Terry and I get together, things happen, and we talk about pretty much everything. But I think we're going to talk about the 144,000 and how to look at it and how to understand it and how to understand it as part of the universal whole. I can't believe that some issue that drove me out of the church when I was in the 5th grade is following it. When was I in the 5th grade? It was before 1960, guys. So it's shown up again, and it showed up big time yesterday, and it showed up a bunch. So we're going to talk about that. And then Tuesday, I have a really fascinating talk with a woman named Kathy McConnell. Kathy McConnell was a Reiki master and an energy worker that I met when COVID was first starting and I was doing readings. She got a grid. She's a really fascinating lady. She does long distance meditations, not like over YouTube, but she picks a time and she has a group of people. She focuses on them. And I'll get to that indigo child. And so tomorrow she's talking on her look at 2025, the year of the hermit, which is, it's a 9. And it's also the year of the wood snake, according to, hi, Danny Shea, about Chinese astrology. And she's talking about how both of those powers draw in yin power, Y-I-N. We're going to talk about that. And then she wrote a beautiful prayer. It's called the Beauty Prayer. And it's how to find beauty in your life all around you. So, okay, what's happening with the crystal garden classes? I've reworked the curriculum. I've tried it out on a few people. And we're working it out. Because when I do it this time, I want to do it this time and not have to do it again. You'll all get a PDF with every vision I have that goes with the garden, all the different kinds of layouts and things that I try. I'm going to have 3 weeks of open classes, but you have to be a member. You have to be a subscriber to my channel. I'm not putting this behind a paywall unless people really want it long term behind a paywall. I have people who've been paying me for the last year and a half to study the garden once every other week. And they're really getting strong with it. We're really beginning to understand how to make it work. The garden is my solace in this time of weirdness because it's always seeing the better part of us going within. Danny's show this morning was very good. He has his Sunday with Spirit. He did that. It was interesting. That's what I woke up to this morning, Danny. I had Danny Shea in bed with me this morning. And anyway, so I cannot tell you guys enough how much my guides and everything around me and all of readers that are moving me are telling me to pull out of these whacked ass news cycles, because that is being put together by the other side. They are orchestrating it to make you nuts. And the few people I've worked with, and I do some life coaching, and I have a few people I work with that. They've all had crazy things happening around them, but when we pull it in, go to the inside, and they look at themselves, it's a much better place. So anyway, that's my 2 shows. And then there may be a 3rd show, because everybody says, do shadow work, do shadow work, do shadow work. And then people are like, how the hell do I do that? Jeffrey Ripe Color has created a 39 tarot readings. He lays them out starting with 3 cards, 4 cards, 5 cards. And they all have to do with shadow work. And Jeffrey's done a lot of healing energy work for years. Yes, and I am starting a new set of tarot classes. And also I'm still building grids, kid. This one goes out in the mail today. That's why it's sitting here on the top of my desk getting ready to be packed up. And weirdly enough, this grid has changed. And
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's cool. It's got an Amazon. Can you see it? It's an Amazon right in the middle.
I like those arrow type stones. It feels like a Wheel of Fortune kind of thing.
They're red jasper. And they're teardrop red jaspers. Yeah, I use those. They direct the energy. They're moving. The way this one works is there are 5 stones that don't match anything else. There's a quartz. There's an Amazonite. There's a fluorite up here in the top. And then this is actually a cubit pyrite. And then way, way, way at the bottom is a peridot. It's a volcanic peridot. There are 5 stones because this card is 5. Change is 5. The number 5 is change. And each of those stones breaks the circle that this person's been living in, and they're breaking her out of where she's been and taking her to a new understanding. So that's what that one means.
Like it.
And she's been so patient because I have been so vacant. I would sit down and try to build that grid, and I wasn't happy with the center stone. And I was digging around through my drawers, and I thought I had no more ammonites left. And I did. So she got that.
Yep.
So, and Scott, what are you going to do besides avoid the snow and the cold?
Yeah, just try to get through my work week. Last week was heck.
Yes, Sean was real impressed with 20 below zero and 2 feet of snow in one day. My poor little Texas son is up there trying to figure this out. But they did their first walk yesterday, and they hit over 1,000 houses for the Supreme Court.
Oh, good.
Primary thing they've got going. And
it's great, but Jesus, someone's got to start putting better ads out there for Miss Crawford.
Yeah,
they are just totally crazy for the right wingers, paying a lot of money. And
he came up there, and that's all he's done is Elon's been buying space. But your Supreme Court yesterday saved your voters' butts. You can now they eliminated. They said no, the legislature cannot vote to block early voting because that's blocking voting in general. This is why. This is what is my son's channel? CLSB.
CLSB politics. Yeah.
Right, Charles Lawrence, Sean Briscoe politics. CLSB. But they made a really good ruling on that. Yes, grids are energy tools. They're backup. You set them going, and they give you the energy of your system and what your intentions are a boost. And you can take them down, wipe them out, reset your intentions. I mean, they're a forever tool. The other thing is Sean just put up a new show about why the Republicans will not do a budget by March 15th and what a disaster that is. And business won't like that. Stock market won't like that. Banks won't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
stock market's going down. They don't like what's going on.
And Trump admitted yesterday, we might have a little bit of inflation. If this keeps going, we're going to have more than a little bit. So support your local readers. Thank you to everyone who contributed and donated. I look forward to seeing people tomorrow, Monday, at 11 o'clock on my channel with Terry, and 1 o'clock on Tuesday.
Beautiful.
With Kathy. And then I'll let you know about Jeffrey. Oh, I didn't finish Jeffrey. Jeffrey did a series of readings so you can do your own shadow work. And now is the time to do it, because it's my understanding that as we go through this particular shift of ascension, the more you've done, the further ahead you will be. And this will give you something to concentrate on other than watching the people that are no longer on MSNBC. Oh, good news from the world of YouTube. Joe Rogan slipped to number 2. You know who's number 1?
Midas Touch.
Midas Touch.
Yes.
But that just tells me I think Joe Rogan's numbers were inflated to keep him number 1 through the election cycle, so people would listen to him. But
can't stand that man.
Deanne, DFL, go to my website, set up, or just go and find the way to get in touch with me. We can correspond about working with depression. I'll explain to you how I pick the things for a grid, and we'll find what you need. And thank you for loving my son. I love my son too. Trust me, if he was your son and you knew what he was really like, you'd realize what a pain that is.
Yeah, that was hilarious seeing snow for the first time.
No, he's seen snow.
Well,
He lives through Snowmageddon when he had no heat, no electricity in his house in Austin. He said, "Mom, all I know is when I close the door here, it's warm."
Yeah. Right. It was still funny how he explained it anyway.
Yeah, he's going to be doing things on his channel. They've got an invitation to go to Lambeau Field.
Oh, cool.
To visit the whole thing for his birthday. It was a gift one of the local people that's really involved got for him. he turns 50 on March 13th. So he's planning his little life up there, and he's going to be. And then I think he's going to Detroit to run a mayor's race, and then he's going to Virginia to run 10 states. So
sweet. All right, everyone have a blessed day, and check out Nancy Jean Monday and Tuesday.
yes, and you be safe in your truck.
That's the deal. Love and light, everyone. Be great.
Bye bye.